Warriors traded for Jimmy Butler at the end of the trade deadline earlier this month. And as great as this performance is, as wonderful as it has been to watch Curry score 50 on yet another team's ahead, the most notable aspect of this game that he had yesterday is not the game itself, but rather the date. Because this marks the third time in Stephen Curry's career where he has had a magnificent, jaw-dropping, eye-popping game on the day, February 27th. So, tonight, we're going to look through each of the 3 February 27th masterclasses that Stephen Curry has posted in his career, starting all the way back with his 2013 game against the New York Knicks. This took place on February 27th, 2013, and the game was played at Madison Square Garden. Now, this game, many people think of it as Curry's explosion onto the scene, already making a name for himself, but the performance that he had against the Knicks, many consider it to be his breakout superstar game. So here we had the Warriors and the Knicks facing off. The Warriors at this time hosting a 33-25 record, facing up against the New York Knicks, who had a 34-20 record. Both teams well within, well above 500. And for the Warriors, the starters were Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Andres Pierre-Dens, and Draymond Green. As for the Knicks, you have Carmelo Anthony, Tyson Chandler, Jason Kidd, Raymond Felton, and Iman Shumpert. Now, the people on the Warriors bench, some names that you're probably familiar with: Carl Landry, Richard Jefferson, Festus Ezeli, Jarrett Jack, and then David Lee and Kent Bazemore, who both were not able to play. David Lee due to a suspension, and Kent Bazemore due to a coach's decision. And as for the Knicks, you've got on the bench Kenyon Martin, Steve Novak, Amari Stoudemire, Pablo Prigioni, James White, not the Patriots one, and J.R. Smith. And then finally, Kurt Thomas and Chris Copeland, who also both did not play as per a coach's decision. Now that you have all the starting lineups and benches in order, let's revisit what this game was like, right? So, in this game, the Warriors did not get out to a great start. In fact, they very quickly found themselves falling to a 14-point deficit to the Knicks. It was a 25-11 lead by the Knicks with 1 minute and 37 seconds left in the first quarter. So, not ideal at all. But Golden State stayed in it, and they were able to retake the lead at the 5:13 mark and at the second quarter, going up as much as 40-37. Very quickly able to get back on top. And then from that point on, the game stayed close basically the rest of the way through, with a total of 14 lead changes. And so, we take a look at the crunch time numbers. The game with 2 minutes and 1 second left, you've got the Warriors and Knicks tied at 105 points apiece. And here is where things go wrong. If you're the Warriors, they finish with a flurry of mistakes in the last 2 minutes. You've got a Curry block shot by Raymond Felton, a Jarrett Jack traveling violation, then a Festus Ezeli turnover, and then they failed to box out on a missed free throw by Raymond Felton, allowing precious seconds to come off the clock. And eventually, the Warriors would end up losing this game 109-105 to the Knicks. And so, ordinarily, people don't talk about a loss like that. It's like, oh, what's so good? Who cares? Warriors lost this game. Why does anyone care about this game? Well, it's because over as head coach of this Golden State Warriors team yet, because no way in heck is Steve Kerr playing Curry 48 minutes. But yeah, Stephen Curry plays the entire game, all 48 minutes. He shoots 18 of 28 from the floor, including 11 of 13 from three-point range. That is insane. And then he has 7 of 7 shooting from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and yeah, that is the game that made everyone know for sure Stephen Curry's name. If you didn't know it before, you would know it now. Obviously, I'm speaking hypothetically, as I was not watching basketball in 2013, but this is what I've been told. Obviously, him getting a lot of attention at Davidson and having some great games, but this was his career high for quite a long while, even through his MVP seasons. So definitely a brilliant Stephen Curry performance in the first of many on February 27th, 2013. Now, we move into our second February 27th masterpiece, and this is a game between the Golden State Warriors and the Oklahoma City Thunder in the 2016 season. This game was yet another away game taking place at Paycom Center. Here we had the Warriors at a 53-5 record up to this point, and the Oklahoma City Thunder sat at 41-18. Obviously a great record, but very much overshadowed by the Golden State Warriors, who are on pace to beat the Bulls 72-10 single season win record. And yeah, starting lineups in this game for the Warriors, you've got Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. And on their bench you have Andre Iguodala, Brandon Rush, Maurice Spates, Anderson Varejao, Leandro Barbosa, Sean Livingston, James Michael McAdoo, and Ian Clark, the last two who did not check into this game. Taking a look at the Thunder's starting lineup, we've got Russell Westbrook, Andre Robertson, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka, and Steven Adams, and their bench being made up of Kyle Singler, Inez Freedom, or Inez Cantor as he once was, Randy Foye, Dion Waiters, Mitch McGarry, Nick Collison, Cameron Payne, and Anthony Moreau, the last four of which did not check into this game either. So the stage is set. You've got, two MVPs playing in this game. Curry having won in the previous year, KD having won not too far before that. It is a superstar showdown in this game, and the Thunder came out swinging in an 18-5 opening run over the Warriors. Kind of punched them in the mouth fast. Every game was a Game 7 against the Warriors in this year. Obviously, everyone trying to take them down off of their 73-9 pace. So they hit them hard, they hit them fast, and the Thunder's lead ballooned to as much as 14 points with 2 minutes and 58 seconds left in the first, leading 28-14. But the Warriors battled back slowly and surely, and they managed to cut the Thunder's lead to just 1 point at 41-42 with 4 minutes and 24 seconds left in the second. So it seemed like they were ready to get back ahead in this game. Momentum had finally shifted back in their favor, but they couldn't quite pull off the comeback just yet, and they actually managed to fall into a deep hole heading into halftime. The Warriors falling behind to the Thunder by 11 points at a 46-57 deficit. But it was in this year in particular, I feel like, that the Warriors earned their third quarter Warriors reputation, known for just coming out of the halftime with guns blazing and taking any game that maybe had fallen out of their favor. And so the third quarter Warriors retake the floor, and with 1:22 left in the third quarter, they managed to steal back the lead 78-77 from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, at this point, the Thunder, they're digging deep. They have realized that they have blown not one, but two double-digit leads to this immaculate Golden State Warriors team. And so they are trying to give it all they have. And once again, they find themselves up 11 points. But this time, in crunch time, they're up with 4:15 left, up 11 points, 96-85. And the Warriors, realizing the situation, they go on a huge 14-3 run to cut it to a 1-point game with 35 seconds remaining. So it is anyone's game at this point. The Thunder, it's their ball, so they take a timeout. And out of their timeout, Katie hits a huge three, a dagger almost, giving the Thunder a 4-point lead with 14 seconds left on the clock. Ideally, that's it. If you're the Warriors, you try and get up a quick shot. Maybe you play the foul game. What can you even really do in that situation? But they try. They try their best. The Warriors, they take a timeout. Out of the timeout, Clay hits a quick 2, bringing the game to a 101-103 score with 11 seconds left on the clock. The Thunder, they quickly inbound it to Kevin Durant, full court inbound, and he gets trapped in the corner. So KD, trapped in the corner, heaves the ball to midcourt, intended for Dion Waiters, but it's a sloppy pass, and so it gets broken up by Klay Thompson. He is able to jump up and reach for it, break up the pass, and now it's a loose ball. Draymond Green follows ball into the backcourt and dives for it, basically heading out of bounds, and he manages to save the ball to Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson drives up the court and passes it up ahead to Andre Iguodala, who throws it up for a final game-tying shot with zeros on the clock, and he misses. But Kevin Durant gets called for the foul. So, with no time left in the game, Andre Iguodala has the chance to tie up this back and forth matchup with his first 2 free throw attempts of the game. And Iguodala has not been his best self at the free throw line. He is shooting a measly 61% from the line. So the pressure is on, the weight of the world on his shoulders. The Martians pointing a laser death beam at the Earth. He manages to knock down both free throws and save this game for the Warriors. So we're headed to overtime. Once we go to overtime, we get a quick Westbrook and 1 and an Ibaka dunk to put the Thunder ahead by 5. Already spelling disaster for the Warriors. But when the world needed him most, you get 7 straight points from none other than Stephen Curry himself to tie the game back up 110-110. And in the midst of that Curry flurry, you've got Kevin Durant reaching in on a foul, and he has fouled out of the game. So the Thunder left without their best player. They managed to still take a 3-point lead with 33 seconds left in the game, or in overtime. But once again, you've got Klay Thompson managing to tie it up with a quick and 1. And so, at this point, there's 29 seconds left, about a 4 or 5 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And so the Thunder call a Russell Westbrook doing most of the ball handling. He considers posting up Klay Thompson, and he opts out of it, passes the ball out, and gets a pass back to him. And from here, I'll just let Mike Breen call out the rest of the game. Westbrook on the drive, falling away, won't go. Rebound taken by Iguodala. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry from way downtown. Bang, bang. Oh, what a shot from Curry with 0.6 of a second remaining. And with that shot, Stephen Curry called game from 37 feet out, winning it for the Warriors 121 to 118. Not only did they win the game and they keep their 73-9 pace, but Curry tied the NBA record for most threes in a game with 12 three-pointers, one more than his previous February 27th performance, in which he had 11 threes. A performance for the ages, one of the best basketball games I have ever witnessed in real time, and I'd say one of the most iconic shots in NBA history. It's been 9 years already, which is crazy to think about, but an absolutely brilliant shot. Such a way down. Taking a look at Curry's final stat line from this game, we'll see that he played 38 minutes, shot 14 of 24 from the field, went 12 of 16 from three-point range. Uncharacteristically bad free throw day for Curry, him going 6 of 8 from the line, and he finishes with 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Brings him to 46 points on the day, and the Warriors, they win for the first time on February 27th in Curry's Masterclass games. So he avenged it. And at this point, February 27th is a pretty cool coincidence. He has 2 of his career best games. I'd say the game that put him on the scene, put him in everyone's, agendas and guidebooks, and And then you have the game that many consider to be one of his best performances. Absolutely crazy game from him. And so, what more can we even expect on this great day of February 27th? And that is where we flash forward 9 years to February 27th, 2025, which was just yesterday, where we have the Warriors suiting up to play against the Orlando Magic, once again on a road game at the Kia Center. In this game, lots of time has passed. The Warriors roster doesn't look anything like it once used to, and we've got the starting lineup being made up of Stephen Curry, Moses Moody, Brandon Podziemski, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, a small ball lineup. In the Warriors bench, you've got Kevon Looney, Kevin Knox II, G. Santos, Quentin Post, Buddy Hield, Gary Payton, and then Trace Jackson Davis and Pat Spencer, who are both out. They didn't play as a coach's decision. The actual player who was out was Jonathan Kuminga. As for the Magic, the starters were Cole Anthony, Condavious Caldwell-Pope, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, come out to a 13-3 lead, and the Warriors are able to respond with a 13-5 run of their own. So halfway through the first, it's a 16-18 Warriors deficit. Nothing that bad. But as we progress into the second quarter, the Warriors find themselves falling further and further into a hole. And at the 8:40 mark in the second quarter, the Magic now have a 16-point lead, with many things being due to Paolo Banchero in this game. The Magic basically kept that lead for the entire rest of the second half, and with 1.5 seconds left in the first half, sorry, did I say second half? Second quarter. With 1.5 seconds left in the first half, they managed to gain their biggest lead of the game, at 17 points, and things are looking rough for the Warriors. This is their worst showing thus far in the Jimmy Butler era. They were down big to Chicago in his first game, but since that point, this is probably the furthest they've been behind, and so things aren't looking good. But 1.5 seconds on the clock, that is way too much time for Stephen Curry. So he takes the inbound pass, dribbles it once, dribbles it twice, and he takes a 3/4 court shot and drains it from 50 feet out. Curry hits the three, and he manages to cut the deficit to 14 and give the Warriors a little bit of momentum heading into the second half. And now, I know that the Warriors of 2025 don't really resemble the Warriors of 2016 all that much, but channeling that old regime, you've got the third quarter Warriors making an appearance, and rather than a Curry flurry, we actually see a Quentin Post flurry, believe it or not. And so Quentin Post lights it up in the opening part of the second half, with 11 straight points, and just midway through the third quarters, the Warriors have managed to retake the lead in this game. So made that 17-point deficit disappear in just a half a quarter. Then you have the Warriors finishing out the quarter, taking a 5-point lead heading into the fourth. So what was once a 17-point deficit, they have managed to completely turn around, building a 5-point lead. That's a 22-point swing. Curry, having already played his tail off in this game, he gets to rest for the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, and the team does a brilliant job in this time. They give Curry his rest, and they manage to build a lead from 5 points all the way up to a 12-point lead. So the Warriors are now leading 103-91 with 7 minutes left in the fourth. And then the next 3 minutes pass, and the Magic are slowly but surely climbing back into it. They've managed to cut the deficit in half, so with 4 minutes left in the game, it is now just a 6-point game. 2 possessions really could go to anyone, which is not ideal. And we've seen the Warriors in recent years choke a lot of close games, so this is kind of a barometer at this point. If you can't hold on to this lead, how is this year going to be different from the previous ones? And so Curry at this point still hasn't scored a single point in the fourth quarter. He has been held scoreless, and there's just 4 minutes left in the game. So he finally decides to whip it back out, show the Orlando Magic the signature Curry flurry for one last time, and in the last 4 minutes he scores 3 straight threes and goes 4 of 4 from the line to score 13 points in the fourth, and ends up winning the game 121-115 for the Warriors. Just doing it once again on February 27th, 2025. Curry's final line for the night is 34 minutes, 16 of 25 from the field, 12 of 19 from three-point range, 12 of 12 from free throw line. He's got 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. And he goes plus 15 on the day. The only player who had a better plus minus than Curry from the Warriors was Quentin obviously Curry having a 54-point game in 2013, and then what was it, 46-point game in 2016. Those are big. Those were monumental performances. But a 12-3, 56-point game in 2025 at Curry's age now. This is impressive, and I think that Curry is looking rejuvenated and revitalized in a way that I haven't seen in a minute ever since that Jimmy Butler trade. Bro has been balling. You know, his numbers were down a bit. He had one of his worst games of his career earlier this year, and people were bringing out the washed comments, the washed allegations, and he just didn't look quite as great. But reports of his downfall were definitely exaggerated, as Curry explodes with 56 in this game, giving the Warriors a great shot and taking the 6th seed from the Clippers. And yeah, very exciting times. I'm very excited to see how the Warriors do through the rest of the season, even in the playoffs. I think it's the first time since, I guess, 2 years ago.